Hey, elites and geeks, what is going on? It is Tuesday and it's the end of the month, and that means we're going to get into some viewer comments today here on RPG Elite. And I want to welcome all of my new subscribers to the channel. And those of you who might be seeing this as your first video, welcome to RPG Elite. This, folks, is the place where we put the RP back into RPG, tabletop RPGs, that is. And why do we do this? Well, we do this so you can have a more immersive and enjoyable experience. And how do we do this? Well, we do this by giving you tools, tips, tutorials, and real talk, like uncomfortable talk, about the tabletop RPG space and culture. Before we get into the viewer comments today, I want to go ahead and give a product highlight on something that I believe will help you become a better storyteller, or at least add elements to your tabletop RPG sessions that will make these stories become more vibrant and alive. And of course, we get inspiration from a whole bunch of different places. And this product today, I'm telling you, you will get some inspiration from it. And that is the Twilight Zone Complete series. Now, the Twilight Zone is my favorite television show of all time because, number one, it was just some fantastic storytelling, and it was fantastic storytelling in a small amount of time. So it was a half-hour show when it was out. That meant you only had 24 to 26 minutes to tell this story. Now, you guys have seen this behind me on my set for a long time now. I love this show, and I'm probably getting ready to go back and watch it all over again, all 5 seasons. This is a classic television show. Anybody who knows anything, they've tried to reboot this thing a couple of times and they just don't have the juice that the original did. The original was just ahead of its time, number one, and there's some great storytelling there. And one of the cool things about the Twilight Zone is that it always had like a moral to the story. And so in terms of being one shot, knowing these different elements and what to put into your stories and being an inspiration for other stories, and also having this moral to the story, this is a classic. This is a classic. You're going to find something. So I have a link down in the description below. Go ahead and go over to Amazon, hit on it. And if you've got the discretionary funds and you want to be able to tell better stories or dissect these stories to see what elements really made these stories pop, then I would suggest going down, hitting that link in the description below, and grabbing yourself the whole 5 seasons of the Twilight Zone. Not only will you be entertained, but you'll also be educated when it comes to this great tabletop RPG hobby, which we are a part of, and those things that you can add to it for your tabletop RPG sessions. Okay, so let's get into our viewer comments. And some of these comments today, only a couple of them, will be, high criticism against me. But I got a response for you. So let's get to our first one. This comment is from someone who commented on my Green Ronin Publishing "While I'll Never Spend a Dime on Them" video. And this is what they say. This is a long-winded and childish rant by someone who feels ridiculously entitled because they do not understand the difference between when something is shipped from a warehouse, i.e. processing time, collecting, packing, and getting ready to ship out, versus how long a product spends on the road with the shipping company, the postal service, once it has left the warehouse. Conflating 2-day delivery with 2-day shipping is on you. These are not the same things, at least if you have some basic idea about how this works. Guarantee of delivery within a time frame is logically, rationally, and simply empirically something entirely different from shipping times offered by delivery services. All right. Well, now, let me take this point by point. So, number one, the way that you want to handle this or come off at me is that you want to come here and you want to make disparaging remarks about and make implied little character assassination remarks about who I am as an individual. All right, because I wasn't talking about individuals in this video, but this is what you want to do. Okay, gotcha. Let me go ahead and I'm going to present 2 other points. Person whose name I don't know because you don't matter. So let's keep going. Number two, you also don't know what you're talking about when it comes to what I did. What you probably don't know is that in the emails that I received, they had said that they had received more business than they expected. Now, it very well could be because I did a video promoting their sale. And of the people who commented in that video, several of them went over there and bought it. So it could be that I'm the reason why they had too much business. I did not tell them this though. They do not know me from Adam. I did not tell them that this is what I did. They did not sponsor my video. I just thought it was a good deal. Still think it's a good deal. I mean, at that price point, that's a pretty good deal that people should get in on. So then again, you still don't know what you're talking about. But let's go to the third one, which is really the main sticking point, which is the shipping thing. And well, it appears you don't know what you're talking about. But hey, don't take my word for it. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm childish. By the way, if I wanted to really be childish, I would have pulled that video promoting their product. I have not done that. And I would have made more than one video about my experience. But I didn't do that either. But in terms of the shipping thing, I'll let somebody else answer because somebody else did answer in the comments of that video. And so I'm just going to let them go ahead and talk about it. He says, "Hey man, I've worked in the shipping industry for 30 years, and not that it's news to you, but what they were feeding you was 100% grade A BS. I could go into details as to why, but you already got the point. At the end of the day, they were trying to finesse you." Now let me get this straight. I'm deferring to somebody who obviously knows more about the whole thing than either one of us, probably. Been in the shipping industry for 30 years. I got you. Would know and understand a little bit more about it. And when they look at my comment, and I'm looking at your comment, which apparently is the polar opposite of my comment and my video and my point, they are saying that apparently what I'm saying is correct and you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to 2-day shipping. 2-day shipping includes the processing in every other business on the planet. Let me get this straight. You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to the term entitled and using it for me, because it's not entitled, it's for something that I paid for. Even if you were thinking that it was because of the video that I made, they had no idea that I did it. So that would still be wrong and you don't know what you're talking about. And somebody with 30 years experience has just validated what I said and invalidated what you said. So there's no conflating of the issue is. I know what I'm talking about and apparently I'm right. So when I think that what you are saying here and how you're coming off at me, I have a theory. Just help me out. I think that maybe, just maybe, you might be somebody from Green Road. Maybe. It kind of sounds like that you are. And let's say I'm right in that regard. Then what you have just done is validated my decision never to spend a dime with that company and never to mention them on my channel ever again. You've just validated it with your comment and your lightweight ad hominem attack against my character. All right. Now, if you are not affiliated with Green Road, then I need to make the statement and make it apparent that your disparaging comments about who I am, personally, who I am, they mean nothing to me because I don't even know your name. And after I get done with this comment, it's out of sight, not of mind. And as I'm sure I am to you, you are less than zero in terms of importance in my life. So I just want you to know that don't think that you can come on here onto my channel and make some disparaging comments about my character and make me care. However, I did like your comment because it was a great example, I believe, of the Thomas Edison quote of 5% of the people think, 10% think they think, and the other 85% would rather die than think. I think you fall into that middle category, and I just think that this was a great lesson in that for my viewers. So for that, I thank you, whoever you are. All right, well, let's go to the next comment. This is from my boy, 28mm RPG. What's up, bruh? And this is from my video, RPG Elite Philosophy number 8. It's about the story, not the system. This is part 3 of that series. It says, it's always a hard sell when 90% of the YouTube RPG streams are pretty much a board game. And a lot of new RPG companies promote their board gamey RPGs. When you show up with a new take, let's actually roleplay this, you get blasted with defensive oppression. I can't say nothing to that. There's nothing to say to that because that's just how it is. I can't really say nothing to that. Let me try to attempt to add something to it. It's the whole viewpoint of not understanding that tabletop RPGs are a storytelling medium. This is the reason why many of them have been adapted from television shows, novels, other storytelling mediums. Why? Because tabletop RPGs are a storytelling medium. However, when you don't look at tabletop RPGs as what they are, then you're more likely to fall into the category of people who abuse tabletop RPGs. And my video on that, which as always ruffled feathers, stands still because, you know, abuse means misuse, you know, abnormal use, misuse of something. And we all abuse things, right? Have you ever used a butter knife for a flathead screw? Okay, that's abuse of the butter knife because that's not what a butter knife is for. A butter knife is for, go figure, butter. So you can still use a butter knife for that, but that's a misuse of it, or it's an abuse of it. Now, I know people get upset because I say abuse and then they take it personal, but it really is what it is. And we've all abused something. I mean, even if you've used a shoe to bang something, okay, obviously that's an abuse of it because that's not what it's used for. And we've done it to many things. I mean, just go ahead and think about it. We all are abusers in some way, shape, or form. We are. But when it comes to tabletop RPGs, there are those people who have fun abusing tabletop RPGs because they don't look at it as an art form and a storytelling medium, which is why you get the defensive oppression when you say, hey, let's actually roleplay, or man, why don't you roleplay, or just ask the question and you get this backlash. But that also has to do with the infection of the malaise that has come into the tabletop RPG culture in the guise of new players. But again, that I digress, and that's another video. But thanks, bruh, for your comments. Digging it. Let's go to the next comment. This one is from ChaosNX. In my video, 4 Reasons Black People Don't Play Tabletop RPGs. Says, oh yeah, Black culture is expressly suppressive of anything not deemed Black. I myself have been not Black my whole life, not just from friends and people at school and church, but even my own family will give me the awkward eye like, bruh. Oh, man. Sincerely, this breaks my heart. I hate being right. I just knew this. I know this. And this breaks my heart. So let me try. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of encouragement here. Okay, people who do that to you, you probably need to excise out of your life. And if they are close family or, close relatives, then you need to limit your time with them exponentially. Because understand something, they're going to abuse or misuse you in some way with something else. That is just an outward expression of who they are, and they're going to do it in another way down the line. You need to just be who God has created you to be, not be ashamed of what God has created you to be in terms of this tabletop RPG geek, because there's nothing wrong with that, and go ahead and do your thing. And you may want to use it when they make these disparaging comments, use it as, or try to use it as an education opportunity, to educate them on their ignorance, and sometimes to inform their stupidity, depending on the situation. But, you know, in that situation, if you're throwing pearls before swine, don't do it. Just move on. Sometimes it's better just to not deal and engage with the TWs, which are time wasters, because you only got one go around in this life and you don't want to waste time. Thank you for the comment. Let's go to the next one, which is, this one here is from Raymond Rich, from the video My First Year as a Content Creator, or 6 Things I Learned as a YouTuber. He says, so you know what video brought me here, but the reason I stayed, liked, and eventually subscribed is because I sincerely appreciate your unwillingness to hedge. I recognize I won't always agree with you, especially not that choice of football team. Oh, shoot. But I welcome anyone who challenges my thinking with such thoughtfulness, directness, and a unique and genuine perspective. Kudos and many thanks. Thank you, Raymond. And hey, I've been a Steelers fan since the 70s, bruh. Been with him through thick and thin, Bubby Brister years and the whole nine. So, hey, and I'm still gonna be with him. And ain't, as far as I can see, they ain't starting off the season too well this season. But hey, I gotta stay with him, bruh. Gotta stay with him. And in terms of my directness here on the channel and the way that I come across, I've said this several times in other videos, and I'm going to say it again. This is WYSIWYG right here. WYSIWYG. Therefore, what you see in front of this camera right here is what you will get if you meet me. No different. And whether you like me or not is just kind of an irrelevant thing, because I'm not doing this to get a whole bunch of people to like me. I mean, I'm not saying this to be mean, but I don't care whether or not you like me. All right? I'm trying to educate. I'm trying to inform. And a little bit of entertainment. But educate and inform is mostly what I attempt to do on this channel. And we ain't got time to be, you know, if you wear your feelings on your sleeve and you can't have an adult conversation because somebody is coming at you direct and you're gonna cry, whine, moan, and complain about somebody doing that, then you probably need to move on. Because that, to me, is something that's odious. I don't like weakness like that. So you can just move on to something else. That's me. Hey, love it, leave it, hate it. It is what it is. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. Let's get to the next comment. This one here is from MD. Okay. This next part is a little bit hard to say. So MD Gibsonism. And this is from the best tabletop RPG for beginners. It's not what you think. And they say the difficult part about catering to the needs of the new person is that I very often have to cater to the needs of 4 or more other players as well. It's all well and good if I think Gamma World is the game for them, but I do need buy-in from the other players. I play that game, but I don't watch any videos about it, so keep doing what you're doing. Okay. All right. Let me address this a little bit because I was going to do a whole video on this just to kind of explain this. So if you don't get to watch the video, then I'm going to give you the cliff notes right here. When I talk about serving individuals, I'm talking about laser precision with tabletop RPG evangelism. So once you actually find out, I'm talking about setting up a session specifically for them, not bringing them into your group. Number one, because I think that's a little bit intimidating for them. And number two, it doesn't allow you to actually serve them exactly with what they need. When you just put together like a one shot just for them and maybe another one of your veteran players, and you guys are together trying to create an experience for them so they can at least figure out whether or not this is going to be something that they really like. but not adding them to your group. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really creating a specific experience for that individual. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make a video about that pretty soon here, really soon. Not sure how soon, but real soon. But thank you for the comment. Appreciate it. Next comment. This one is from somebody named L. From my video, what if there were no fantasy tabletop RPGs, part 2, it says, you seem to hate a lot. No clue is what you have against fantasy. Say what? But play what you like. You seemed to also hate the word you used in the live stream was Negroes. If there was no fantasy, people would play less video games, but would probably play more video games. Like, well, not EA because loot boxes, but maybe other sports games they don't own. Golf, Grand Prix. I would guess none then, based on what you said in the video, would rather play Risk or even Tetris. I'm totally clueless. I have no idea what they're talking about here. And it looks like they're conflating the live stream that I was on with Legion of Myth with the actual video itself with something that hasn't even been mentioned, which is the video games. I don't get it. I have no idea what's going on here. Let me try to go ahead and address what they say in this first part. I'll try. It seems that I hate a lot. I don't, gosh. All right, number one, let me say this again. I play and run a One Ring campaign, which is fantasy, every 2 weeks. And I've been doing it for years. As a matter of fact, those of you who've been watching my videos, you know what I'm about to do. I have on my set piece the 2nd edition, which is right there. So apparently I can't hate fantasy that much if I've been doing that and I've been doing it for years. So, and that video really doesn't mention anything about me hating fantasy. I have no idea what you're talking about as far as the video games. I didn't talk about video games, so I'm lost on that. But the other thing that I want to address is this thing with me saying Negroes. Okay, Negroes, number one, is not a bad word. And if you want to know why I'm using that, then what I would suggest is going to this video right here to understand why I am using that. And then you can go ahead and look at the follow-up video to that as well. And then after that, if you want to make a comment, you are free to make a comment. And if you want to make a comment, this is kind of like this one, which actually makes no sense, but you're free to do that. I wish I knew what you were talking about really, but thanks for the comment. Let's go ahead with our last comment here. This one again comes from the famous video, 4 Reasons Black People Don't Play Tabletop RPGs, from Jack Allah, who says, the most dangerous kind of person, whether they're black, white, brown, red, green, or whatever, is a person who thinks for his or herself. I absolutely love being around that kind of danger. I learned so much from those people and have always ended up becoming a better me. I love what you say there when you say danger. It reminds me of the Thomas Edison quote, which I've talked about here on the channel before, which is 5% of the people think, 10% think they think, the other 85% would rather die than think. Yeah, those of us who think are in the minority, and in the vast majority of cases are the ones who get vilified because that's what we do by the 10% and the other 85%. That is why it looks like we're on the fringe. And we are on the fringe when it comes to thinking, because we forge our own path and going towards what we actually believe. We've done our due diligence and understanding our positions, and whether you agree or disagree or not, you know that we didn't just come off of this off the top of the mind or off the side of our neck or something. We've actually done some due diligence. So I guess I'm dangerous. Wait a minute. No, I'm dangerous. And I like being dangerous. Because I have an agenda. Okay, I've said this in several videos, but I want to say it again because I don't want anybody accusing me later on down the line saying, oh, this guy, he has an agenda. Yes, I do. I do have an agenda. I have a specific agenda. And those of you who watch more than a couple of my videos, you'll probably get a sense of what my agenda is, kind of, sort of. But having said that, my agenda, I believe, is one that is going to help the tabletop RPG community as a whole. Thank you so much for your comment. And now it's time for the question of the vid. And it is in relation to your inspiration for stories. What do you use as a GM to inspire you to create worlds or your stories? And those of you who play, what do you use to inspire you in your creation of characters and background? I want to know down in the comments below. It would be great to hear from you. Okay, so now that I've probably offended some people, which I always do, just the way that it is, folks, I'm going to have to get out of here. But before I go, if you like the video, then go ahead and crush the like button. And also, if you want to become a part of the LEET Squad, this family that we got going on right here, hit the subscribe button. And, well, if you feel like it, go ahead and hit the notification bell as well. Not real sure if that works. I mean, you guys let me know. Is that thing work? Like, if you guys have a notification bell, does it come up when I post videos? Because some people say it works and some people say it doesn't work. And so kind of trying to get a general feel of if, you know, telling people to hit the notification button actually is worth it. If you have a tabletop RPG session this week, I hope it is a fantastic RPG Elite session and happy gaming. And also, hey, if you want to take a look at some more videos, take a look at these right here. So until next time, peace, y'all. 5,000 Leets. Outie.